Welcome, dear students. In today's lecture, we will continue the same subject, that is vehicle safety and maintenance. And the last unit we were covering, the last unit was power plant repair and overhauling. And in power plant repair today we will continue with the maintenance of engine cooling system. Means what the components of engine cooling system are there and what the general procedure is being adopted. Students, in the previous lecture, I have told you about what is available in your syllabus. Means we have to go for the maintenance of other systems also, because in previous lecture I have covered the ignition system also. But the question which will be asked in the examination will be on maintenance of ignition system alone. Means what troubles are there and what troubleshootings are there for ignition system, general procedure of maintenance. Similarly, for cooling system also, what they will ask in the paper will be the maintenance only. Means they will be concerned with the maintenance of the system. Although I will discuss the major parts, because when we know the what parts of the systems are, then it will be easier for us to go for the maintenance. So starting with the how many types of questions they can ask. First is explain working of cooling system and importance in automobile. Explain function of each component. We will cover this, because without knowing the component it won't be possible for us to learn the maintenance procedure, although these questions won't be asked. The second is the why maintenance of system is necessary. This is an important question. And the third one is overheating. How the overheating can be avoided. And coming to the main question which will be asked, means they are concerned with what general servicing of the system is done. Means explain the general servicing of cooling system. This is an important question, because as far as we go through the syllabus, the main thing is that we should know how the repairing of this particular system, means cooling system, is being carried out. How we are carrying out the repair servicing of the cooling system. That's why this question, the general servicing procedure, and what why there is a need of maintenance, because initially we have to write the need of the maintenance also. The second one and the fourth one is important. Now we will start with the cooling system, because what the cooling system is, what the need is of the cooling system. Because we know that in engine the temperature of engine is more than 2000 degrees centigrade when the fuel used to get have combustion, and due to this high temperature it is obvious that the gaskets and or the coolants and other fluids can get destroyed, because for proper working of the engine, means oil film and piston rings all have their particular well efficiency at particular temperature. So that's why for preventing the engine from getting seized, because seizing is to be prevented, cooling is done. And for efficient working of engine, sufficient quantity of cooling is required. We can't go for extreme cooling, because it will reduce the thermal efficiency of the system. The thermal efficiency will get reduced if we go for excessive cooling. So the figure which is being shown in your book is like this, because it can't be drawn in the examination. That's why I have taken another figure. This is being shown to you over here. In this, what is there? A radiator is there. Radiator used to suck the fan by means of induced suction of the fan, and the coolant used to get cooled. Hot coolant used to go from upper side and cold coolant used to come from bottom side. It used to get split up into two parts, and whatever parts they have mentioned, because some part used to go for passenger comfort for as a heater, but in this figure they haven't shown this. Means a certain part which is going to the radiator of this, a certain part used to go for the heater also. Means if the heater facility is there in the car, then we can have free of cost heating of the car interior by bypass, but they haven't shown this bypass system over here. After cooling, the coolant used to go in the engine cylinder, in the water galleries and water jacket galleries, and the certain amount of coolant used to go for the intercooler if the engine is turbocharged, means the turbocharger is there in the engine, and certain used to go for the cooling the oil, lubricating oil, and again the heated coolant after mixing over here from the engine, one from the engine and one from both the systems used to combine and go to the radiator. So this is the complete system is there. Another figure they have shown over here. In this, what they have shown, there is a radiator. A fan is there. I will show you the complete system through a video. So proceeding ahead. Cooling system, what the cooling system is, because in our two-wheelers we used to have air cooled, and basically we are concerned with the water cooled system because the maintenance is required in the water cooled or coolant based system, because it is also called water cooled. These days we used to mix antifreeze in the water, that's why the coolant name is, and ethylene glycol based or propylene glycol based coolants are generally used. So fin type cooling system we won't cover that much. We will cover with the water cooled system. Means this will be our main priority. Means the water cooling system will be our priority. What else will be covered today is the component of the vehicle cooling system. We will cover all each and every component. Means the radiator, header tank, radiator cap. Cap is a very important thing because it used to pressurize the coolant, and by means of pressurization we get the pressure, and the heat capacity of the coolant is increased. And the remaining are the thermostat, an important feature because we all time we can't run the radiator because engine won't start. The thermostat used to work at approx 82 degrees centigrade or above temperatures. Water pump means coolant pump. Cooling fans, which are induced fan placed at the back side of the radiator. Radiator hoses means what type of hoses, rubber tubes they are using with wire laminations, or means any type of fabric they are using, because hot coolant used to flow inside it. And the heater hoses, I have told you that a certain amount of coolant used to get bypassed before entering into the radiator. So that's why that arrow I have shown you. And a heater is used if the heating facility is there, and this hose is called heater hoses. Heater hose it is called. So that's why they have termed that what heater hose is. And we will cover up all these components one by one. Besides this, what else we will cover up is because although it is essential to know the parts, but main thing is that why there is a need of cooling. Although the life of lubricant is fixed in the engine, but we are not aware with the life of the coolant. So that's why we have to go for the probable trouble and their troubleshooting. So we will cover up those things. Means one trouble will be the overheating, and what are the reasons for the overheating. We will cover that. And after this, common causes of overheating will be covered. Means what causes are: low coolant level, vehicle overloading, inefficient cooling system, transfer heat capacity, nostrillingly malfunctioning engine. We will cover all these. And besides this, the main feature which is main thing which is required, which will be asked in the examination, is maintenance of cooling system. This is the main thing, because you are as far as the demand of your subject is concerned. Although you should know the parts of cooling system, but this is the important one because a general question will be there. Means what the general procedure of maintenance of cooling system is: checking, servicing, and repair. So that's full article we have to cover. Means general cleaning, means flushing and refilling, how to flush the coolant, how to check the antifreeze property of the coolant, because most of the coolant we use a mixture of 50-50 of antifreeze, that is either ethylene glycol or propylene glycol based coolant. 50% is of this, and remaining 50% is of water. So that's we have to go through what this is, and we have to check the freezing capacity. For this, either we use chemical test strip, or because in chemical test strip, what used to do, we used to immerse the strip in the coolant and we get the reading as per the specification of the manufacturer. We will go through the refractometer also. I have downloaded one video. We are having this instrument in our lab also. We used to use this to test the freezing point of the coolant. Although it is used for testing three fluids, the basic use of this refractometer is for testing three fluids. One is the battery fluid, one is the coolant, and one is the washer fluid. Means three fluid can be checked, but I will tell you only one, that is battery fluid today. And besides this, the hydrometer is used. A special type of hydrometer is there in which the floats are available to show you that at what point the freezing capacity of this coolant is. Means in refractometer also we came to know used to check only the freezing point of the coolant, and in hydrometer also we used to check the freezing point of the coolant. Means we are concerned with only one thing, that is freezing point, both the things. Coolant replacement, what is the general procedure of coolant replacement is, and besides this we will go for bleeding of coolant, and other process will be covered up one by one. So starting with the parts of the cooling system, means what the part of the cooling system is there. So we are starting with this, and the first part is the radiator, which is being shown over here, that what the radiator is, and covering the to the last part, that is the heater hoses, secondary heat exchanger that is used for heating the car. Radiator is located on the hood of the vehicle, and on the engine configuration available space, the radiator consists of top tank, it will be shown to you through a video, bottom tank, and a core. Means the top tank is there, the bottom tank, the bottom bank is there, and the coolant used to enter in the top tank, goes through several rectangular galleries. These galleries are rectangular. In between, a small space for air is there, and completely filled. This space is filled with high surface area aluminum, so that maximum heat can be dissipated. So what the main feature is that the upper tank is there, the lower tank is there, and in between we are having the rectangular pipes. As the coolant flow through rectangular pipes one by one, and it used to get cool, and the temperature goes down from while moving from this point to this point, upper point to the, while it moves from upper point to the lower point, the temperature used to go down. The header tank, a separate tank is there. I will show you through the video. One by one, these parts will be shown. The header tank is required because when the coolant is hot, the radiator cap used to release some coolant back into the header tank. Its position is above the radiator, that's why it is called header. It used to maintain the head of the coolant, and a certain height is given to this tank. Pressurized radiator cap, the important part, because the radiator cap is the important part, and it is just like a spring loaded safety valve, and it used to pressurize the coolant. That's why its boiling point increases, and more heat can be absorbed. The radiator cap is shown over here. I will show you through video also. Thermostat is important part, because engine cooling system only start after some time, because when we start the engine, if the cooling system will start, the engine will goes down, because its temperature will go down in the starting itself. And what will happen, engine won't start at the means when we are starting the engine, it won't start. So that's why after certain duration of time, as the temperature of engine increases, and which ultimately increase the temperature of coolant also, this temperature will cause the coolant to flow through the radiator, because initial cooling is not at all required. Initial cooling of coolant is not required. It is restarted after certain time, and that time is governed by the temperature of the coolant itself. The water pump, the pump which is required for making the forced convection flow, because we want the forced convection flow, and for forced convection is you already know, is more than natural convection, and the demand of the cooling system can be only fulfilled when you flow a certain amount of coolant, means LPS, liter per second of coolant. Then only the demand of all this transmission and engine components will be fulfilled. That's why a water pump is generally required. Is the basic component. Cooling fan, this will be shown to you. Radiator hoses, what type of pipes they are using, that is for hoses to carry this hot coolant. Heater hoses, because certain amount of coolant is bypassed. So for this I am going to show you one video. Starting with the video, we are starting. This is what they have shown over here. In this, the starting they have shown that radiator, where it is available. Radiator is available at this portion, means at the front grill. The radiator is available. Although two types of means you are seeing over here. You are seeing that there are two types of radiator. One is the evaporator of air conditioner, that is placed before the radiator, and the second one is the radiator. Because what confusion is there, when for the first time we open the car bonnet or hood of the vehicle, we used to see two radiators, but there are not two radiators. One is the car evaporator, air conditioner evaporator is this is being shown to you, and at the back side is the radiator. Radiator is of bigger length, because it has to deal higher temperature and higher quantity of fluid, and this has to deal the lower quantity of fuel. That is why it is called the evaporator. Both are driven, get used to cooled by the common fan that is placed behind the radiator, because radiator assembly is important. The fans are placed in this itself. Although the evaporator is placed in front because more cooling is required in it. And what else they have shown? They are showing that this is the water pump. This is a belt-driven water pump because the crank used to drive the air conditioner motor. Alternator which is hidden by its hand over here, and other components also means, and this water pump also by belt drive. Serpentine belt drive is there, means a particular means path is there of the belt, and one by one it used to drive each and every component, and in between there is water pump also that is driven. So that water pump is being shown over here, that is called coolant pump. But the terminology is used water, but water alone is no longer being used today. We are mixing 50% of ethylene glycol. So the water pump he is showing, and below this alternator there is thermostat valve, and he will remove the thermostat valve. He is removing it is being shown over here. This is the thermostat valve. It has a casing. Inside that casing is wax, which used to melt at 82 degrees centigrade, and it allow the coolant to flow inside the cylinder blocks. Unless and until it is not open, the coolant will remain in the radiator and it will not cool down the engine, because it is not required at the starting of the engine, because the engine will automatically shut down if you start the coolant at the starting, because there is no need at the starting. And what else they are showing? They have removed the water pump. The water pump is a centrifugal based pump. The hose they are removing in the video. They are showing the hose. The upper hose is being removed from this portion, and now they have removed the radiator. Now you can see that one radiator is already remaining in the vehicle. That is not radiator, that is evaporator, or that is that is not evaporator, that is condenser. That is condenser unit of the air conditioning system. That is not evaporator. Certain mistake was there. There is called condenser unit of the air conditioning system, and this is the radiator. So one will remain and other will move out. They are placed one over the other. Now he is removing the radiator. Radiator is being taken out. Now the overview is being shown over here. Starting the overview, these are the two induced fans that are used to suck the air. And what else is there? What else is there is being shown over here. One by one he is showing that the coolant used to get enter from the upper side, and it used to come out from the lower two sides. This is being shown over here. And what else is there is being shown over here. In the radiator, the lower part, two hoses are there, because when we want quick cooling of the coolant, from one hose the transmission, the automatic transmission is there, because they have removed the radiator system of automatic system. So that's why two hoses are there at the bottom for taking the coolant. And at the upper side, one hose is there because hot coolant used to enter from this side. And bottom side, one thermostat is also there. This is being shown over here, the thermostat, because you can't allow the coolant to go inside the cylinder block and cool the engine when engine is running at the initial phase, because engine is not heated up that much. Two fans are there for sucking the air, because induced air is used. One overhead reservoir is there, because what used to happen, the cap of this radiator is a pressurized spring-loaded safety valve, means spring-loaded valve, and after certain pressure it used to release the excessive coolant, which get expanded into this reservoir. Now seeing ahead, what else the other items are there? One by one he is showing over here. Presently he is showing the location of the from where the coolant used to come, from where the coolant used to come inside the radiator. And what else he is showing? He is showing one bypass also, because full coolant will enter into the radiator, but certain quantity will be bypassed to the heater, because in certain vehicles we are having the heating facility, and that heating is achieved by a different heat exchanger free of cost heating of the complete cabin of the means in which the passenger are sitting is done, because certain amount of hot coolant is bypassed and that hot coolant is used for heating. I will show you in the video itself how it is used. This is being shown. In the video you can see that although the major quantity of hot coolant is going to the radiator, but a certain quantity is bypassed to the heater core. The heater core is shown, and this small radiator with a blower, because blower is used for heating the passenger cabin, and the hot coolant after going become cool, and the cool coolant used to go to the engine block again, and after taking the heat the system used to run again and again. It is not used only for cooling the engine compartment, it is also used for cooling the intercooler if the turbocharged engine is there, for cooling the lubricant oil and other systems also. So basic thing they have shown over here. The overhead tank they have also shown, because from the cap there is a one passage also. When the cap pressure is when the coolant pressure is very high, this spring used to press and the remaining coolant used to go to the overhead tank and used to get fill up. That's why it is told to see the level of the coolant in the overhead tank only when the engine is running, because at the running condition the coolant level used to get rise up. It is also advised not to open this cap of the tank when the coolant is hot. And similarly all the parts he is showing over in the video, and one by one he will illustrate. The thermostat valve is taken out. The thermostat valve is an important thing, because certain time what used to happen, this used to get blocked. This has happened with me also in the vehicle which I used to board the bus to the college. This was blocked and engine was overheating. The coolant was not going to the engine cylinder. It get blocked, but at in general condition it is working. It used to work well and fine. The main feature of this thermostat valve is that it should operate at a certain temperature. Means the wax inside this casing used to melt, and as soon as the wax melt, this spring this valve used to get open. This spring loaded valve used to get open, and this melt at 82 degree centigrade. It means that coolant will flow to the cylinder block when it is heated to a certain temperature, that is 82 degree centigrade. Now it is shown over here that this is the location of the location of the thermostat valve they have shown, and in the video you can see the location is where the location is. The location is being shown. You can see the location. The wax they have shown over here, and the location is this. This is the location where it is located at the bottom side, means from where the cold coolant is going to the cylinder block. It is prevented by this at the initial stage, and he is testing this thermostat by pouring hot boiling water over it, and what he is seeing that the complete valve is open. Now he will cut it. By cutting, he see that the wax is inside it. It used to get melted, and by melting of this wax, the valve used to get operated. Now he is showing the cap of the coolant radiator, because we have to pressurize the coolant. More the pressurized the coolant is, more heat it will absorb, because when the coolant is pressurized, its boiling point used to get increased, because as soon as we increase the pressure on any fluid, its boiling point get increased. So that's why we want we have used means spring loaded cap, and at certain pressure what used to happen, it get pressurized and it release the coolant back, and from this here the coolant used to go to the header tank. This is being shown over here. This is the header tank is being shown. This nozzle which is being shown over here used to directly get connected to this over here. Means this nozzle used to get connected to this portion, the cap. And what else is there? This is the radiator assembly. What you are seeing in the radiator, this is the upper bank, this is the lower bank. Hot coolant used to enter in the upper bank, and these are the rectangular pipes. One by one the pipe are shown. First pipe means, if you see the pipes, these are the pipes. If this is the first, this is the second, this is the third, This one is the fourth, this one is the fifth, and between two pipes they have filled the aluminium metal with to increase the surface area. Means fins like type metals are placed so that air can flow and more the surface area. As soon as the coolant used to flow from this small orifice rectangular pipe from top to bottom, it used to get cooled and we get cooler coolant at the bottom side. This is the main principle, and they are showing over here. Now he will cut it into a section. What else he is showing, that at the bottom header there are two pipes. If they are using the automatic vehicle, automatic transmission is there, then a quick cooling is required for cooling the transmission for longer life of the transmission. That's why two hoses are given at the bottom. What else is there? Now he has cut the radiator in the vertical direction, and what he is showing, that this is the metal which is being filled from this. The air used to go through the radiator, and this is the bank from which the coolant used to enter, and after getting cooling it used to go to the bottom side. Now he has cut the radiator again. Firstly he cut the radiator in the vertical direction, now in the horizontal direction he is cutting. So we can see the cross section of the tubes. This was the rectangular tubes I was showing you. In this small quantity of coolant used to flow, but by getting the arrow of these many tubes, large quantity of coolant used to get flow, and it get cool as soon as you go down. This is a general heat equation he has shown over here. The general heat equation is U8 theta m, because overall heat transfer they have used, because it is the mixture of convection as well as conduction. The inner fluid used to give the heat through convection to the metal, and the metal used to give heat to the outer air. Again, means from inner to outer, the heat used to go by conduction, and again the convection. Means convection, conduction, and again the convection is there. Finally we have to transfer the heat to the air. So again the convection is there. This is the water pump they are shown. This is based on the centrifugal force, and as soon as the belt drives it, the coolant used to get flow, get pressurized, because we want forced circulation of coolant, and they have shown over here also that it used to come out from this direction. The tangential direction, the pressurized coolant used to come out. And what else they have shown? The fans they have shown over here, because fan used to start at a particular temperature itself from the sensor. So he has opened, and what sense they used to get, they are shown. These are the hoses what are shown over here, and he will cut the hose to show you that whether the wires are there or not, to reinforce it. And this is the complete system they have shown over here. Now if we move towards the theory itself, the one by one all the parts are covered, and the pump is also covered. Now we will go through that what else the system are there, because need of cooling system maintenance, what maintenance they are doing, and what systems they are using for maintenance of the cooling system. So we should be well aware with how to check the temperature of the coolant, because here I have downloaded two videos also, because when we are checking the temperature of the coolant, means the condition of the coolant, we have to inspect the condition of the coolant, what the condition of the coolant is there. So for this, 2-3 systems are used. One is the chemical strip, which is being shown over here. The another one is the refractometer, and third one is the hydrometer. So I will show you that how these instruments are used by videos. So starting with the first video, this is the hydrometer they are using. The hydrometer is same as the battery hydrometer, and the bulb is there. We have to press the rubber bulb and suck the coolant will be sucked inside it. They are showing over here. The scale where what they are showing over here is the temperature. If the float is at this point, it means it is the temperature will be minus 37 degrees centigrade, freezing point of the coolant. If minus 30, if the float is at this point, then minus 31 will be the freezing point of the coolant. So it used to give the freezing point of the coolant in either Fahrenheit degree centigrade or degree centigrade. We are interested in degree centigrade. If the float, for example, is at this point, then it will show that the coolant is at the coolant freezing point is minus 7 degrees centigrade. And as per the specification of the supplier, we have to go for the coolant. So the coolant will be sucked inside it. He will use this being sucked, and the float will allow to settle. What we will see when the floats are allowed to settle, 3 floats remain at the upper side and 3 floats come down as far as the specific gravity of the coolant is, and that specific gravity reading is converted into the temperature reading. Now we are seeing the yellow one that is coming down. The yellow one is coming down to the 23 degree centigrade temperature, means the freezing point of this coolant is minus 23. That is fair good for if we are using it at more cool place. So main thing which is checked in the coolant is the freezing point. If the freezing point is higher, then more means either we used to replace the coolant or the ratio is not maintained that is required, and we have to maintain the particular ratio also. Now we will go through the another video that is of refractometer. The refractometer is a device which is used for testing again the freezing point. This is being shown over here. This is the refractometer. We are having this at our lab also. We used to place the coolant drop over here. The drop of the coolant is placed over here, and you used to see from this side. 3 types of fluid are checked from this. I have told you earlier also, means battery fluid, coolant, and the air and the washer fluid. 3 fluids can be checked, and how it used to evaporate, it is being shown to you over here. In the refractometer, we place the drops, and after placing the drop, we used to see from that place. This is the screen we used to see. When we see from this side, the screen which we used to see is shown over here. In this portion is used when we check the specific gravity of the electrolyte, means battery fluid. Plus minus is being shown to you. The center scale is used for checking the coolant, and the last scale is used for checking the washer fluid. The center scale is used for checking the coolant, and 2 types of coolant can be checked. That is whether it is a propylene base or ethylene base. Propylene base is called G13 and ethylene base is G11 or G12. That should be known to you. That is an international standard. That is a nomenclature which is used for this. And if you get a line over, if you place the coolant, if you have placed the coolant over this place, and while seeing on the screen you get a line, horizontal line. You are getting a horizontal line passing from means this place, means horizontal line is passing from minus 30. Automatically from refraction of the light, line will be created, and line will pass from minus 30 or minus 40. If it is passed from minus 30, then the freezing point of the coolant is minus 30. If it is passed from minus 20, then the freezing point of the coolant is minus 20. Whichever temperature is to pass, that will give you the freezing point of the coolant. So in this way, we use the refractometer for measuring the temperature, freezing point of the coolant. That is the main thing. And beside this, what else is there? We will go through that in the next lecture. Means what general procedure of maintenance is there, because I have told you that the main thing which will be asked in the paper will be the general procedure of maintenance. Meanwhile, you should go through the parts of the system, and if any queries are there, then please do ask. Thank you.